Hey everybody, David Ellison here. Just announcing the new Altitudes and Attitudes roast, the new coffee from Ellison Coffee to celebrate me and Frank Bellows' group, Altitudes and Attitude. Cool, tasty, delicious coffee since we are both coffee fiends. Click in the link in the description there and you'll be able to find the pre-order for that. And also, just to let you know that Ellison Coffee Company is also a proud sponsor of The Metal Voice.
Here we are at The Metal Voice with the man of many hats himself, Mr. Jeff Pilson.
Well, hello there, and good to be here.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. I mean, you just finished producing Last in Line 2, here in Montreal. And you got the Foreigner Tour, of course, Cold as Ice Tour. And a new album coming out next week called The End Machine.
Yes.
So you've been quite busy.
That's right.
So where do you want to start? Let's start with...
let's do in the order you just said.
Okay,
The Last in Line, that was actually finished a while ago, but it came out. I'm very, very proud of that record. Amazing record. Love working with that band. Those guys are all friends, and, Vinny and Vivian and Phil, frankly, have been friends for 30 plus years, so that's great. Amazing singer, Andrew Freeman. The record came out spectacular. It's great to hear Vivian shredding again, as he did on the first record. It's really great. I'm very, very proud of that record. The songs are so strong. And the band has really gotten their own identity now, which is great. Then about the Foreigner. This Cold as Ice tour has been amazing. We love Canada anyways. Canada is a very good market for us, but it's just been really great. Everybody's been so supportive and helpful, and we're going to come back to Canada a lot. We like it here a lot.
It just seems like you've been a member of Foreigner even longer than you were in Dokken. It seems that way sometimes.
Not yet, but we're getting there. I will guarantee you I've done more shows with Foreigner than I ever did with Dokken, though, because, it's been 15 years of solid touring with Foreigner.
So okay, so now your personal songwriting, playing the Foreigner's catalog night after night, how does that influence your personal songwriting?
Well, I suppose it has to creep in there somewhat. Listen, they're great songs, and I think it's always healthy to be around good songs, no matter what form it's in. I love the Foreigner recordings. I loved the productions. I loved the Lou's voice. I loved mixed guitar playing. I loved the bass lines. I think the bass lines are great. Foreigner's always been a positive influence on me. That was from the minute Foreigner came out, I was a fan. But I guess, the more you listen to music, the more you get exposed, the more those things creep in and influence your songwriting in a positive way.
Okay. And Kelly Hansen.
One of the greatest frontman out there, man.
Really
He's a monster.
Looking forward to seeing him later this evening.
So. You're going to have fun.
You're also doing Dio Disciples.
I've written a couple songs for them. I'm probably not going to actually be recording the record. I just don't think there's a way to fit it into the schedule. I would love it if I could, and maybe at some point I'll get to do something. But I know they're interested in a couple songs that I've written for them. And I love working with Craig Goldie, who's the guitar player, and he and I have written several things over the years. So hopefully there will be more work with them. At this point, I think it's just limited to songs, but I'm hoping there's a way I can do some recording with them.
Craig just released Dream Child, which is another kind of Dio offshoot.
Yeah, well, Craig is a brilliant player, and he keeps himself busy.
There you go.
Jimmy K here, Metal Voice. Look at this. The Metal Voice shirts are now on sale. Just go to the video description to find out on how you can purchase one. Metal!
Yeah, so just a quick thing about the Last in Line. It seems like the second album, like you said, they really came into their own. The first one, you can see they were the three guys from Dio, so you can definitely see that influence. But this one really seems like they've got their own sound happening. Were you part of influencing that?
Well, maybe a little bit, but they do most of the writing on their own. There was a little bit of formulating of some of the vocal stuff that came in on some of the earlier songs, but most of it is them. It really is, they're just, they've had some time together. They did some shows together. It's only natural, I think, that they really come and have developed a sound.
Great. And production-wise, anything else happening?
Well, you mentioned the M Machine, which is coming out March 22nd on Frontiers. Yeah. So look really excited about that. There's actually some shows for the M Machine coming too.
Yes, I saw that on the West Coast.
That's right. We're doing a show April 4th in Los Angeles at the Whiskey, April 5th at Vamped in Vegas, and April 7th at Club XS in Tucson. So
there you go.
Very excited about that.
I've been listening to the album. I was mentioning to Jeff earlier. early candidate for album of the year for myself here on the Metal Voice. I have to say it's that strong. So many different influences on the album, and like you said, it's nothing like Dokken. It's not a copycat of Dokken at all.
No,
and Michael Sweet, who was a guest on our show numerous times, he said he was almost slated to be the vocalist for this project.
Well, indirectly, I mean, at one point, George and I did a record together a few years ago called TNN, and there was talk about it going on the road, and so the thought was to bring in Michael so that we could do, because he could nail that stuff. He's great, and he would be a great fourth member for that. And then that would have probably then evolved into another record for TNN, but that didn't happen. So we kind of started from scratch with this, and got the M Machine and got Robert Mason in, who is incredible.
Every song, it's as if he reinvents himself on every song vocally.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really pleased with the songs and the chemistry of everything, the songwriting chemistry, the musical chemistry. I mean, I knew that the chemistry would be there with George and Mick and I. It was so great to hear what Robert brought to it and how he really rounded it off into, it's not a copy. There's some Dokken influence in there, of course. There's some Lynch Mob influence, of course. But it does, and the universal thing I'm hearing from people is that it sort of stands on its own, which we're very, very proud of. We wanted that to happen, but you never really know until you hear it from people. And that's a great thing because we're very proud of it, but we're very, very happy that it stands on its own.
Well, the first song, Leap of Faith, the guitars just jump right out at you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what... George just seems reinvigorated, maybe playing with you and Mick and Robert again. It's unbelievable, the guitars and some of the solos he's ripping on this album.
When he's on, he is the greatest rock guitar player on the planet by a million miles over. So there's no question in my mind. He was just great. The thing with George is if you get him a sound that he likes, 99% of the time something brilliant's going to come out of him. And we just had a lot of fun doing it. Got a great sound, and then he just takes it away from there.
And then No Game, that's like our AC/DC riff off for Ball Breaker. That intro riff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you get Burn the Truth, which is my personal favorite.
Well, it's actually, I think, all four band members' personal favorite too.
That's a great track.
Interesting. Thank you. I thought it was really spectacular.
And then Ride It, that could be a leftover from one of my also favorite bands from Robert. His the originator of Steel Panther, his band Big Cock. There's maybe a song that could be left over from that.
You're talking about Roosters, of course.
Yes,
but anyways,
a great Robert
I've never heard that band, so that sounds interesting.
With David Hesselwing of King Cobra. So they were pre-Steel Panther.
Wow.
A little focused. The lyrics were a little focused on one subject only. So I'll let you guess which one. Roosters, that's right.
Yeah.
And then
Poultry.
Line of Division, which a funky groove on that.
Cool. Yeah. Like I say, I'm just really proud of how the record came out. There is a lot of depth to the record, which there's straight ahead stuff, but then there's moments where we really musically let ourselves go a little bit, which was really fun to do and very gratifying, and I'm just so pleased that so many people are reacting positively to it. That's a great thing.
So you've managed to get everybody's schedules together, like you said, slip in 4 shows on the West Coast.
Which is miraculous. With our schedules, that's miraculous, trust me.
And then you had the one night off, we sang, I think we got the release last fall with Dokken, there was one night off in the East. Any more shows planned for those one-offs with the rest of the guys?
Nothing planned at this time. It's not out of the question at some point in the future, but again, it really falls down to scheduling. With the Japanese tour, the Japanese actually got a copy of the Foreigner tour schedule and worked it around that, which made it impossible not to do.
Because you seem to be on the road all the time.
Yeah, Foreigner tours a lot. We do.
Yeah. Well, the great hits, another sold-out show tonight. Looking forward to it. Jeff, thank you very much for taking the time.
My pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Here we are with Jeff Pilson of Dokken fame, and now Foreigner for how many years now?
15.
15.
Yeah.
So there we go. If they're in your town, you got to check them out. All the hits. Kelly Hansen, Mick Jones, and everybody else. It's a great show, and you got to go and make sure you check out Jeff Pilson and the rest of Foreigner.
So we were backstage, the Rockin' with Dokken, Rockin' with Pilson.
You can rock with whomever you like.
All right, guys.
Dokken's fine.
Foreigner, on tour.